Hello and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we have another match of the A Link to the Past randomizer Crosskeys tournament 2021. This is still Swiss round 1 and the matchup is Illus versus azder. Commentators for this will be HXC Jeddas and Tracy M. Say hello.
Oh.
Good morning or good afternoon, I guess, if you're European.
We do have a European here with Illus in Germany, and azder, of course, Canadian. So we're gonna have a whole lot of North American and European Europeans in the afternoon, North Americans in the morning watching this. So it'll be pretty cool.
Yep. This is gonna be a good race. Both these runners are some of the best out there. Illus is probably a little bit more seasoned in Crosskeys, but given that these runners are so evenly matched that the seed is going to decide a lot of what happens in this race.
Yeah, it was interesting when azder decided to just do the Crosskeys. It surprised me a little bit because it really isn't as much his thing. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he does here. Illus, yeah, of course, has done a lot more Crosskeys. Both of them well-known names in the Link to the Past community. So in terms of execution and such, pretty evenly matched. So we're going to see a good one here, I hope. But, it's Crosskeys. Weird things happen in Crosskeys. So.
Yeah, you follow you can follow the right or the wrong connector chain and end up in the very right or very wrong place very easily in Crosskeys. So
yeah, all it takes is one key, one ice rod, one needed item in a bad spot. Or even, it doesn't even have to be like an ice rod. It could be just a hammer in a bad spot and it can just really screw you up. All right, and we're off. Both starting in Link's house and getting some bombs, which is always nice early in these.
Yeah, I think, bombs in Link's house is one of the nicer starts for Crosskeys because one of the first things you're going to look for in Crosskeys is bombs. Some people will try to do like a Houlihan start and get some rupees as well, just in case they run across a shop and they have money for Bottle Vendor when they get to Kakariko.
A nice magic drop as azder decides to check the uncle first. We saw a quick check of the light pipe cave and got bumper cave, so not anything we can do there yet. Looks like Illus is going to do the Houlihan start here, where you fake flipper over to the witch's hut and then fake flipper over to the drop down there. We do immediately see a connector on azder's side. This was over near Hyrule. I think it was the Hyrule Castle entrance.
Yeah. You're going to save and quit from this spot instead of just walking back down towards Link's house. So might as well take an early look at this connector.
Yep. Absolutely. And we'll see what the drop down is here on Illus's side, and then he'll see him pick up some money, and he'll have to think, ooh, that's not that interesting a connector. We could just walk right over there. But that's an interesting item, azder with the early knowledge that when he gets to the race game, he can get the boots. Sadly, the race game is not always easy to get to and might be gated by, in fact, is usually gated by the mirror.
Yep. Very rarely does a connector lead there, so yeah, you'll usually need that mirror to get there. Speaking
of which, of course you still needs Dark World access, but hey, that's one part of it down. And also nice that that's the graveyard ledge with all those bombs, so you can go, if you wanted to, you can go back in and grab some more. 6 though is a pretty good number.
Yeah. So Illus is going up to the castle to check the drop down and might take this connector as well. Alternatively, you could save and quit and see where Sank is, but we'll see what Illus does.
Oh, it looks like the useless fairy connector, so we're not going to care about that one ever again. You hate to see that one early because it means there's going to be something behind, most likely both Agas. Small key Turtle Rock.
This connector, is not very good, but it's going to be a connector of convenience, at least in the start. So you're going to end up where you're going to basically want to be at the Kakariko side of the early game. So,
top of Paradox Cave. azder decides to leave because right now the only thing he has to kill the Moldorms in The actual room with the items is bombs. Probably will come back to that, hoping to have better items. Otherwise, I mean, you could get the items and save and quit out. That would certainly be an option. But you don't want to do that right now. Also, an entrance to desert.
Yeah, you probably check all of Kakariko, hoping for a more a weapon that you can use a little bit more.
Yep.
And then see what you get by the end of Kakariko. If you don't get anything, you might go in there with bombs.
And then if you don't manage to kill the Moldorms, you still can get the item. Oh, there's Sick Kid. Unfortunately, no bottles yet. The one thing to point out, Azure does not use a tracker. He'll write things down. Actually, he types them in a document to keep track of things like that. So he'll have written something like the bomb hut has Sick Kid or something like that. Of course, Illus using, it looks like Dunkus, or at least some version of Dunkus tracker. So he'll be doing more standard tracking.
Yep, Illus making sure to make the most of Graveyard Ledge. It's a very nice find early on in the seed because it's just free bombs, so you just use that to stock up on your bomb count and then move on.
And we just saw another piece of Paradox Cave. We can go that way with the mirror, although that wouldn't be in logic, but who cares if we already know where the other side is. So he might choose to just go into that entrance when he decides to check Paradox Cave. Same thing for Illus. Or you might just go there now. Yeah, gonna go there now this way. Interesting. With 8 bombs, he should be able to kill the Moldorms, but it's gonna be tight because he's only got 2 hearts, and those Moldorms are usually out for blood.
Yeah, we'll pick up a heart in here, so we'll have the maximum of 3. Well, there's 2 hearts in here that you can get now.
Yeah. Compass to ice and arrows, so far not great. The good news is, I mean, the sanctuary right here. Won't be, if you have to save and quit, you're just going to be right there. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, sanctuary being in one of the better spots to have a save and quit. Some of the more annoying spots are, in Hyrule Castle itself.
Yep.
Nobody likes that drop down because it's pretty redundant given Link's house is so close.
Yeah, it's not a good one. Or even the one at the useless fairy in the east part of the map. Not a big fan of that one. I don't mind the Dark World one, just because it gives you instant Dark World access, which is kind of nice.
The Dark World one can be a little interesting because it can mean that maybe you have to bunny walk to something.
Yep. As you're forgetting which entrance it was he needs to check. This is the one he wants to check. We've seen the other 2. Okay, that didn't take us very far. So as a connector, Paradox Cave, not interesting at all. And really didn't get a whole lot of good items out of there. But it's good to have cleared it. You don't have to think about it. Illus going to go do the same thing.
Yeah, and at the very least, we got information that that glove-locked entrance is not really useful. So,
yep.
We won't have to worry about coming back to that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so the Lumberjack Ledge is going to give us... Okay, that heart container's never getting picked up. Good that we can scout that. Just like, it's a different than what we usually get in the Lumberjack, but it's still the same essential idea there. You don't have to worry about it, though.
Yeah, so Ashton,
the highlight. Swamp Palace. Can't do anything there. No flippers, no flood. I'm going to note that they did find a big key to Ice Palace. Ice Palace having one of those, not logically optional, but realistically optional big keys. It's good to have that before you go into the dungeon, because otherwise it becomes a really nasty fetch quest. So... there's our Lumberjack Ledge, and it's 20 rupees, so I don't think anyone's going to go after that. Illus is going to be able... I don't know if he's gotten there yet. It looks like because he took the connector. We'll be able to buy the bottle vendor item, because he did pick up that Houlihan money. As you're still only at 12 rupees, we'll have to leave that behind for now, unless he finds some money pretty quick.
Yep. Yeah, that's why a lot of people prefer to start with Houlihan, because you're never guaranteed to find much of any items very early on. So sometimes, finding money is a little bit difficult in the
Yep.
beginning of the seed.
Key, just kind of a fetch quest item as well, and some money. As Azure inches his way up towards that 100. And we have a green pendant at Skull Woods. Our first information of anything in terms of pendants and crystals. And another desert entrance. So we found 2 of them already, and they're both in the Kakariko area. There's one item we can get, one other item we can scout, and an entrance we can check.
Desert entrances in Kakariko are kind of interesting because here we have 2 here. So, but in this case, the front entrance could lead to an interesting location, or it could be good for routing purposes, because Kakariko is kind of a hub of activity.
Yeah, we did see a small key on the torch, which is a nice to be determined whether we need that small key. We know where the boots are, or at least Azure does. I don't know if Illus spotted those boots. But we'll get them most likely when he gets into the Dark World and has that mirror to check for them. And we end up over near Desert. So we haven't seen any Dark World access out of connectors yet.
Yeah. And we had a red rupee on the bottle vendor, so if Azder never goes back there, he's not missing out on much.
Yeah, it'd be good. It's a nice 80 rupees spent for nothing. I don't know if we've seen this drop down on Azure. Oh, there's Ganon. Yeah, we've not seen that yet. So we're missing the well and magic bat, I think. So one of those is going to be the normal sanctuary entrance, and one of those is going to be the Ganon drop down, and probably would rather it be.
Yeah,
we don't really. I mean, if it's
we're missing Uncle and
oh right, we're missing Uncle. So there's another. Oh, which one did we not check? We've not seen
I'm not
Sank.
sure if I'm not. Yeah, we haven't seen Sank, and we haven't seen Ganon drop. Well, obviously we're not going to see Ganon drop, but
trying to think if there's another one we haven't seen, or maybe I just missed some.
Magic Bat. Magic Bat was at the useless fairy.
Okay. The useless fairy is at the whatever. It's we haven't seen Lost Woods. That's the one we haven't seen. The location. In any case, there's that chance that if the well is behind Aga 2, we might end up it might be more larger inclination to go ahead and climb that. Oh, there's the Uncle. Okay, the Uncle's at Sanctuary. So now we're down to the well.
So, with the well being at this point lunked behind the Ganon drop down, that makes the climb an interesting play.
It does, because that's 9 items now. Okay, we see Agina's cave over on Azure's side. We'll see how long it takes him to get over to the Vanilla Sanctuary area. I mean, it'd be nice to have a glove before you go there, so that if the drop down is something, you can get it, but the glove is in the drop down.
Yeah.
Because it's the Uncle cave, but he's probably going to figure out pretty soon that that's one of the things that's left, and maybe heads over there.
So Illus is now doing a little bit of exploration of these connectors, and here we got
there we go,
a connector to the Village of Outcasts area, and Illus is going straight for those boots.
Yeah, I would too. It's if you know that they're there, you might as well get them right away. You can also check that entrance; it's right there in the light world.
So early glove, early boots. That's pretty good seed right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't see what connector that was. Did you see where that was?
That was where Azure is going, I believe.
Okay, so he'll get his boots too. Fortunately, he doesn't need the glove to get these. Sadly, the boots don't make your bunny walking any faster. As you're already selecting the mirror, a little surprised. I guess he's going to check these first. Like I said, it's not going to make your bunny walking any faster, so... oh, there's the front of Turtle Rock. Can't do anything there. It is allowed to bunny revive, and you could do that by falling down a bunch of times, but no Cane of Samaria, you're not going to be able to actually do anything, so...
Yep, and Illus is going to go ahead and check K45, since we've got the mirror in hand.
Yeah, and as you're using the Super Bunny mirror trick to go ahead and get those items as a bunny, you can do that in certain caves when you just have to open a chest, because you can, if you mirror as you enter, on the right moment, you can be in a nice enough Super Bunny state that allows you to swing a sword and open chests and not much else. But that did allow him to get a small key. I didn't quite see where that was to, and I think a heart piece.
Yep, and meanwhile, Illus finding chest game in the K45 entrance, which led to a bow.
Nice. Okay, now as you're gonna get his... Oh, this... Oh, yeah, he's got plenty of arrows to do this. He's gonna get one item in Castle Tower. Azure will pick up his boots.
These guards are relentless.
They're terrible. All that for bombs. I should say, that's actually Light World, so yeah, you wouldn't even need to bunny revive there, but... Still no cane, so still can't do anything there. Bush Crab giving Illus a nice refill on those arrows, and when that's your only real decent weapon, it's good to have that.
Yeah, usually you pass up on arrows, but today they're actually useful.
At least for now. And I can't do Spike Cave without a hammer, so just mark that for later. There's that bow on Azur's side. The big difference right now is that Illus having already been over to the Vanilla Sanctuary spot, that's where the Uncle Drop is, and was able to pick up a glove. As you're still waiting, let's see some... we'll see if Illus will go for the hover here. Well, he will get this first chest, because that is fully in logic with the boots. It's a Castle Tower small key, which is a bit troll since he was just in Castle Tower.
Yep, and let's see if those little fairy wings can flap.
Super Bunny Cave. Azure finds in the Link's House Bonk Rocks. Okay, Illus just giving it one shot at the hover with so few. Oh, he's gonna go in again. Oh no, he's gonna follow the connector. That makes sense.
Yep, looks like he. Yeah. So we are starting to get a little bit of divergence for our runners. They were kind of tracing each other's steps, but now we've got azder exploring this Super Bunny connector, and then Illus finding the floating island, which is a very nice one to find.
It's a mushroom. And that's a terrible connector. I mean, in the sense, I guess you can't go back in that one anyway, so it's just fine. But yeah, that entrance is definitely one of the more annoying ones. And he ends up at a Hookshot Cave as well. He'll also get that mushroom. Azure may also try to hover.
And if we need to get into the Turtle Rock entrance, it will be Ether today.
He's gonna go for it, gonna shoot that Bari, and then we'll see what he does here. It looks like these two are on even footing as far as hovering, and just good enough to kind of sort of do it, but not good enough to do it at will, as some runners are. As you're gonna give it one more shot. Not gonna make it. So I think he gives up on it now because he has one heart left. No, he's gonna go for it. Okay. A little unfortunate because when he doesn't follow this connector, he's yeah, that's not gonna work. He's not gonna be able to go follow this and get his mushroom. But you know, the mushroom might be nothing, so and he'll follow it at some point. May not come back here though until he has the hook shot.
Yeah, that was an interesting risk to take since he had the 1 heart. Must have been done with the route, so I'm gonna move on to something else.
Still has this mirror portal, so has other Dark World locations to check, and that might have been what he was thinking of. I didn't see anything in Tower of Hera. Illus can be able to clear out this whole Death Mountain area, which is nice.
Yep.
We're going to see more Super Bunny on Azur's side for the Sea House item. Oh yeah, Bunny can also run. Ah, get silvers. Oh, we see Ganon's Tower. We can do 3 items.
Yep, but knowing where this this entrance is very very nice knowledge because when you get the hammer, you can do a lot of checks. Same with
Hammer plus... Well, I mean, hammer plus hook shot unless you want to do bomb jumps. Oh, there's a lamp there. That's really nice.
yeah, hover or bomb jumps. The none of the bomb jumps are too hard on the left side, so
No.
you know, if you have hammer and you happen to be in the GT area, you're probably just going to go ahead and do left side if you can.
Oh, and Azure finds Hype Cave, so we'll see what's over here. Bombs. Not a good start. 50 rupees. A small key to Ganon's Tower. And a piece of heart. So Hype Cave, not bringing the goods today. People say it doesn't live up to the hype. I think it does, because so many times hype things are not. If that makes sense at all. A nice jump into see the Lake Hylia Island item, and we see Blind's Hut over on Illus's side. This could be another. We've not been doing very well in these 5 chest locations, but Big Key to Hera is a useful one, most likely. Although we could skip that with the with Hera Pot.
Yeah, I give Hera Big Key a mild yes, because you never want to leave that big chest behind. But Desert Palace is a good one.
Yeah, the fetch quest keys that I call Ice Palace, Swamp Palace, Skullwoods fetch quests big keys, and to a lesser extent the Hera one, because without the hook shot we can't do the Hera Pot anyway. So sometimes that is hard required.
Illus dancing with the dead rocks over there.
And as you're almost out of the locations, you can check with the bunny. He might finish this off by going back to that hookshot cave connector, but hoping to find a hookshot ahead of time. And yeah, the boulder's hurt.
And that unfortunately was before Illus could get to the connector that had the old man, so wasn't able to rescue him before getting knocked off the mountain.
Do these other checks and then maybe go back. Azure needs to be careful here. He's got the silver arrows, so to be able to shoot these guys more easily if he can manage to get them off his back long enough to turn around. Here we go.
But
yeah, he's probably thinking about going further, but with no lamp, no sword to see by, those dark rooms are difficult. He does have the key though, so he could have. Let's go check this last entrance. And Mini Moldorm Cave you can't do. You need a Moon Pearl for that one. No super bunnying there.
So it does look like Illus is going to head back to the mountain.
Yeah, I think Azure's going to go follow that connector as well and find his way up there. So far, not having that glove has not hurt him, so he's fine. Spike Cave. Eventually that will be an issue, but not yet. And the glove is really, it's hard required for certain entrances. I'm not going to go to Hookshot Cave. That's unfortunate, because that might be the only Death Mountain access. Looks like he's going to go east instead. But
Yeah,
speaking of the glove, the mitts are often not required. The glove itself, as far as dungeon goes, is only required for Ice Palace.
Yeah.
So otherwise, it's just a question of whether you need any of those entrances that are behind rocks that you have to pick up.
Very, very rarely can you get away with the gloveless cross keys.
Yeah, very rarely, but I think it's kind of cool that it is possible. But mitts, mitts on the other hand, you might never need those. There's only a couple things that are always hard locked by the mitts, the smith chain in particular.
The thing about the
Handful
mitts,
of entrances.
the thing about the mitts is when you have them, you don't need them, and when you can't find them, that's when you need them.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as you're taking a death over in the Ice Rod Cave area, because those crabs hurt.
Yeah, I was. This might be as you're going to the north of the light world here.
Yeah, he hasn't done any of that yet.
Because I was gonna say if he didn't die there, that maybe he would use the whirlpool to clean up the north light world, since it's very easy to get back up there. But looks like he's gonna go into Mire and
yeah,
take
this
a look
is really
around.
interesting because, I mean, he can't do a whole lot here. No fire to get the firelock side, so there's only 4 chests he can go to. But if there's something good here.
Yeah, this is a semi-aggressive play without fire. Usually, and no small keys in your pocket. So,
Yep.
Usually you want to wait till you get fire, unless you have like 3 keys. Then maybe the seed's trying to tell you to go here. But yeah.
Well, the 3 keys only lock the fire side, so the 3 keys are only useful if we see the witch's hut. If you also have fire. Otherwise, everything else is in logic, except obviously you need a big key and a cane to get to the boss, and a big key for the big chest. So far, nothing really interesting here, though.
Yeah, it's fine to do this now, because it's early on, so you've got extra time to burn. But definitely, most runners will hope for fire before they come here.
Doesn't need to hit that switch. Doesn't really need to kill the Bari for the key. In fact, I think he was thinking about not doing that. Doesn't need the only key you need in this entire dungeon is to get to that right side, or sorry, to the left side, into that fire locked area. It's the only time you need it. You can literally do the rest of the dungeon with no keys. Okay, let's see. What are we looking for now? The desert entrance. Oh, and Illus got flippers somewhere that I missed.
Flippers were in GT.
Ah, gotcha. So 3 checks in GT really paying off.
Yeah, the lamp and the flippers definitely very helpful. Early fire source is definitely wanted in Crosskeys. And that is a vanilla small key.
Yeah, that's interesting. So he'll be able to check this right away. Get the cape. We did see Bumper Cave earlier. And a nice refill from a piece of heart.
So
yeah, one of the fun things... Yeah, go ahead.
Overall, we do actually have the big key as well, so we can... So finishing it, if we do find it, seems to be in logic, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall though, cape is sometimes useful in case the bumper ledge connector is required, but other than that, it's just nice to have, I guess.
Yeah, I find it's more likely with that bumper ledge or bumper connector. It feels like I usually find the other end of it before I actually get the cape, just from looking at other entrances. As you're going back into Mire, does really want this last chest. Illus gonna go over to the eastern area. Like he found a connector over here. Yeah, all you really need to do was hit that switch. It's good to have that small key for later, but I mean, you're gonna go back that way most likely anyway. Gets a map to Hera, which, you know, it's early enough that you're not gonna see a whole lot of map checks. I think we're gonna see a new entrance. Where is he headed? I thought maybe he was heading over to Eastern Palace, but looks like he's leaving the area. Did we see the Eastern Palace?
He came up from the Flute 5 area, okay. So he did Eastern Palace and everything already. So
he's gonna get that other small key here. Okay, Azure looks like he's gonna try and go over Oh, he's gonna check the bumper connector. That's a good idea. From this direction, a hookshot would have gotten them through as well, as it turns out. Ooh. Desert area. This could be interesting. Just a compass sitting there.
Unfortunately, Azure not having the glove.
That's all he can do.
We'll have to come back.
Oh, and a sword in the big chest is desert. Which Azure can't get until he gets that big key. Now, Illus can get his cape, but I think there's a heart container or a heart piece over here. As you're going to do the early play that Illus did and check the witch's hut and the... he's going to turn that mushroom in, I think, as well. Oh, no, he never got the mushroom, so never mind. He's not going to turn that mushroom in.
Yeah. Azure still has not gone through the Hookshot Cave connector to get that mushroom.
Yeah.
So, seems like Azure is really making plays for items as opposed to entrances right now.
I also think he really wants that hookshot before he goes back there. Unfortunately, if that hookshot's, you know, might be hard to get to, might not be able to get to it. Illa's gonna check out Turtle Rock.
So it looks like Azure is going to finally get that glove. And
yeah, that'll be good for him.
I wonder if he'll go straight back to that desert entrance, because it seems like he's in a, you know, I don't know Azure very well, but it seems like he's playing in a mood where he might do that.
Yeah, he's tends to be somewhat unpredictable and definitely doesn't follow a lot of the metas that you see in that come up in general. I feel like I know him as well as anyone, and he'll still surprise me a lot. So. Illus making it all the way to Chain Chomps. This will be a difficult bit. I think you can take one hit because it's 4. Yeah, you can take one hit. Come on, Illus, you got this. You got this. And it's just 10 arrows. Could have used the cape. Actually, that might not have been a bad idea. But problem with the cape is then you can't use anything to hit the switches. So you got to be good on your quick swapping, I guess, to do that. Is going to check this other exit.
So this one not in logic, since we do not have a cane or a hook shot to get across. But spitting us out in a decent location for where we're at right now.
Yeah. Azure can do some more bunny walking. You could even go into Skullwoods if you wanted to, because we can do the bunny revive there. I don't know if that's really the play. You're not going to find a Moon Pearl, for instance, in Skullwoods. But you could find other good things.
Yeah, it's interesting. The seed really has kind of... I feel like it's going to come down to a bottleneck here really soon, because
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
with both our runners combined, there's not a whole lot left besides bunny walking, and we've already done a little bit of that.
Yeah, the mountain has some really nice stuff in Ganon's Tower, but that was about it. This could be an interesting connector that Illus has found, because the only way to get here is by connector and mirror, so... And it's just a fortune teller shop, so... You forget just how many of those there are until you play Crosskeys, and you just get one after the other.
Yep. The other candidate for good advancement point is the bumper ledge connector that azder found, leading to the Light World Desert Palace entrances. So
Right, because there's one more entrance to take there. Point, he's going to get gated to that. Most likely to be forced to go back to Hookshot Cave without the hookshot. Or check that desert entrance. We'll see what he does here. He's got two more entrances that he can check in this area. But we saw these on Illus' side. I don't think they were anything of use. You know, one's a dark room.
yeah, it was the Death Mountain Descent Cave.
Yeah. That one's really not a good one to go through blind without a lamp. As you're going to grab some fairies. And a useless cave, yeah. Like he is going to try and go through this thing. Yeah, sometimes when you see a dark room, it's like the old man cave, if you can find it from the front, is very easy to recognize it right away, because you walk a few steps and you fall down, but you don't fall through a hole, so you know it's that particular cave. And if it is, most runners know that well enough, because you do it all the time in all the normal modes, that you can just do it. So if that had been that cave, then there's a good chance he would have just followed it. But yeah, once you figure out that it's not that one, it's probably not worth doing until you have that lamp, or at least a sword.
So nothing in the Desert North entrance. We have Spiral Cave, which the item is not in logic, but the walking through it is, so it could lead to somewhere else interesting.
Yep.
And we have Zora area. I'm not sure I can't remember if anybody checked the Hylia Island, or I'm pretty sure we haven't seen Hobo.
Yeah, we've not seen Hobo. Azure checked the Hylia Island by jumping off, and it was arrows or something. It certainly wasn't anything useful. Azure now back in that desert area without a whole lot to do. Oh, he's saving and quitting. Oh, you want to go to Hookshot Cave? Go back. I don't know what else he has at this point, other than going to that Hookshot Cave, and he was right there. But he'll prove me wrong that he does have something. He's probably looking over his notes to try and figure out what he needs to do next.
Yeah, Illus also hadn't checked this, and so that
back of desert.
That is back of desert. So that's, Illus is going to go ahead and clear that out. And as I was saying, we had both keys, and we've got a fire source and a way to kill Landmos. So it'll be interesting to see if this was the intended path, because I believe all of that is in logic.
Yeah, it does feel that way. Okay, Azure figures out what he wants to do. And you kind of see that with the less experienced Crosskeys players. It often takes an extra second to figure out what the next best thing to do is. Let's see where he heads.
Yeah, Crosskeys is very routing heavy. execution helps in any mode, but routing takes a big role in Crosskeys
Sure
because doing all of this efficiently is probably one of the more important things.
Azur's gonna check out Turtle Rock, but those silvers will have a slightly easier time. No, he's gonna just check the exit, okay. Not gonna find much useful here, unfortunately.
And Illus, clearly not an NMG runner, decides to use a interesting mix of bombs to start off with, instead of the normal strat where you bonk off the wall and dash turn left and start off that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure where Azure is going as a bunny in this part of the Dark World.
In theory,
Surfing bunny?
In theory, you could do surfing bunny, but that would require a fairy, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I've never actually seen that trick pulled off, so I don't know what it takes.
I'm not the biggest knowledge on that glitch, but I believe you need to die and then a fairy resurrect you.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, but yeah, I'm not. That's not a. Oh my god, that crab. Okay, well, where he wants to go is Hookshot Cave, I hope, because I'm trying to think of what else he's got. Hopefully he realizes that's what he has. Meanwhile, Illus is going to do more of Death Mountain. The front of the Old Man Cave is on the east of the mountain. Nice.
Alright, so Illus has checked all these entrances, so now it's time to go see where one of our connectors leads us.
See if we get anything nice and new. Mire area, that's a big one.
Fortunately, we've already checked the desert side, so this is good to know. Much. This is good to know where it's at, but we've only got a couple of things, and there's another Spectacle Rock connector.
Yeah, he could follow this connector. I don't think he will, but he will at least. Oh, there's a sword there, so you need to. Unfortunately,
he knows where the other end of that was.
Yep. Oh gosh, that's the worst connector when you find that entrance, because like you can see the item, and if you can't hover, you can't get the item. And of course, as you can't hover as a bunny anyway. But oh, there's Hera, which you can't. Well, I mean, yeah, you can't do Hera as a bunny because there's nothing to kill you to do a bunny revival.
Actually, you can Super Bunny, and you can swing your sword while you're in Super Bunny. So true. You can hit the switch.
I never thought about that. And we do find Hyrule Castle, which is a lot more interesting. Of course, really, we've not found the Hyrule Castle key, so this chest right here and the Dark Cross chest are the only ones that are actually in Logic. And it's a Moon Pearl! Oh boy!
An in Logic Moon Pearl. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, we like to see Moon Pearls in general. That was a mountain connector, if I'm not mistaken, which means Azure has to get back to Hookshot Cave to get that connector over to the mountain to be able to do all these things. Eventually get over here, unless there's a... No, I think that's the last... Is that the last one? We have maybe one more cave there. Azure looks like he's gonna Super Bunny Skullwoods, though.
The only other way I could see is the Turtle Rock Bridge. If there's a connector that leads there.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think Hookshot Cave is the only way. Or, well, also Turtle Rock and GT entrances. We obviously don't know what's there yet, so something could lead there as well. But it's very likely that Hookshot Cave is the only way.
So very unfortunate that Azure... I mean, if he finds a hookshot here, maybe he goes back. Like, just, I think he's just being stubborn. Just doesn't want to go back there without a hookshot. But we'll be able to get some items out of this. A shovel. I mean, could be something. And we're going to see if this has the good or the bad layout. Meanwhile, Illus is going to go at least to Dark Cross. Not going to be able to go at the back. But in this case, with the back just gated by the hammer, really isn't a huge worry about not doing those items. There are times, like if your sank entrance is the pyramid. Oh, big key to swamp, another fetch quest key. If your sank entrance is the pyramid, then you have to really consider, do I want to maybe even save scum the front so that I can go into the back and not have to worry about the possibility of having to kill Aga 2 to go to the back, because that you don't ever want to have to kill Aga 2 if it's not required.
Yeah.
And Illus says, I got a moon pearl now, so let's just do this dungeon. Big key to Ganon's tower. That's interesting. And we have a bow. And we have keys. That's...
Illus actually hasn't picked up really any of those GT small keys that azder has.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but GT big key definitely, especially at this point in the race, if you get a couple of small keys, you want to start thinking maybe make that play as an aggressive play, because you can either do that and just hope for the, treasure trove of items to pay off, or you can continue on and play a little bit more conservatively, and just kind of go through the motions.
I mean, it is 9 items because the well's behind it. So it's definitely worth considering if you have. He's got a small key and a big key, so he can do the entire climb.
And no hook shot in hand, so no Harapot.
But we got the big key, so that doesn't really matter. Just be a little bit slower. Like azder has some Lost Woods entrances that he has not done yet, so he's gonna do those now while he's in this area. Yeah, we're definitely at a point where I'm going to say advantage Illus. But Crosskeys can turn at any moment. All it takes is, a Swamp Palace small key to be somewhere azder goes that Illus just is going to orphan. So, or, fill in the blank bad item.
Yeah, azder still has plenty of time to get back in this, but really needs to get to that hookshot cave connector sooner than later. Because the more time he spends trying to do all these out of logic things and these things that take a long time to do, the more time it just gives Illus to get ahead.
Yeah, and interesting, he decided to just go ahead and reset the money spent there. He knows his money is low, and eventually Zora's going to be a play, so realizing he just lost $80 there. Where are we going now? Meanwhile, Illus going to fight Moldorm, somewhat NMG style, because we only have a fighter sword. We do at least have boots.
Pixie does point out a good point, though, that the, Moldorm 2 will require a hover Moldorm bots at this point, unless they find Hook.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the game could require you to double dip, or logically require you to double dip that climb, and make you get some other item in the first 3 chests.
Or maybe hookshot's just up there.
Or hookshot could just be up there. That's absolutely true. It'd be interesting to see if either one goes for that climb, how hard they'll go for the hover. azder is capable of doing it. He did it in a race last night. The scary part is you may see either one of them choose to kill Moldorm 2 each time, because there is a chest there, and that chest could have something that's required. You don't want to have to come back up for just that one chest, so that makes the hovering option a little bit more dicey. But neither one, like I said, neither one of these guys is... I know azder's not a just break it out anytime hoverer, and Illus, having only gone for 1 hover in the hookshot cave, says to me that he's that same style of hover. I can do it if I have to, and we'll do it if I absolutely have to. But
Yeah.
If I don't have to, I'm not gonna. Oh, and Illus found the the correct entrance to get that Master Sword.
Luckily, the Moldorm 2 hover is one of the shortest to do, so it's even people that are moderately decent at hovering can get that done.
Did he pick up an ether that we didn't see? No, he's just
Nope.
mirroring to go into desert. Okay, that makes more sense. This desert entrance will be a new one for us. Or not.
Well, it's new information, but not a new place we haven't already been.
Well, we can check the other exit here. Oh, this is an area that we have not seen. Often you have to use the mirror to get here from the Dark World, but...
Good thing Illus picked up that Master Sword, but...
Yeah, I think Azder's forgotten that Hookshot Cave even exists at this point, because he's going over places that he's been to before.
Okay, so we know where the other end of Spiral leads. Illus knows where the top end is, which is on the upper entrance to Super Bunny Cave at the top of Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, I think Azder's retracing his steps. Because we've seen all this before from him. Okay, meanwhile, Illus is going to go over to the Dark World, and now that he's got a Moon Pearl, he can do some more stuff here. And let's see what we get here. Piece of Heart, and a small key to Ganon's Tower. Realistically, if you use your keys properly, you can pretty much do the whole thing with just 2. Because you're never going to open that middle door, and you can steal the key past the compass room and mirror out. Now, if your access to the back ends up being Canis Maria, then you might end up using that key. So maybe you might need 3, potentially. Okay, Azur's kind of sort of in the area, but saves and quits. Still just needs to get back to that Hookshot Cave. Also going to see the dig game over here, so that'll be an item for Illus. And you can do Stumpy afterwards, and a couple extra locations that we couldn't check as a bunny.
Has Azure checked the shovel?
No, I don't think he has. He's doing that now, so maybe that gets him a hookshot. Maybe that makes him think of Hookshot Cave. Or gets him a small key to Pod. Well, we need some of those. I think that's our first one.
Yep, but unfortunately, in Azur's position, it doesn't really help because we have not even seen Pod yet.
It does nothing for him at the moment. And Stumpy has a compass. The Eastern Palace compass, definitely not useful. I mean, there's some compasses I think I find more useful than others. Eastern Palace compass is not one of the ones that is particularly useful. As you're going to check out, he's got a small key to Turtle Rock, so you can do one more. You can use one more key here and check the front entrance and check the compass chest. And if you can hit that pokey with the silver arrow, that'll be really nice. Be nice to not get hit by the bunny beam, but looks like it's chasing him all over the place.
Manages to dodge that bunny beam. I know I always hate getting caught by that thing.
Oh, he doesn't have very many arrows, so he's got to do this. Okay, there we go. Gets the key. We see King's Tomb over on Illus' side with a compass. Pod compass is not bad. Just an Ice Palace small key for Azder. Which could be nice. If you end up going into Ice Palace without glove or hammer. Now we have a glove, we don't have a hammer. And you have a cane, then you can do Icebreaker and not have to worry about getting stuck. But we haven't even found Ice Palace. We don't have Bombos or Fire Rod to do anything in it, so that's a long ways away. Oh, and Blue Mail for Illus. That's very nice.
Some people might pass up red mail, but usually everybody takes blue mail.
Yeah, if it's sitting there just so easy to pick up, I don't think you'd even pass up red mail there. If it's more out of the way, then yeah, you would pass it up. But that's kind of one of the things that I find really nice, or really fun about Crosskeys in general. Ah, yes, we have Mini Moldorm Kate we couldn't do earlier. Is that early on, the game tends to put you in weird positions that you wouldn't see in any other randomizer that are just fun to deal with, but difficult. But usually by the end, you have everything. Another pod small key. Another pod small key. $50. And bombs.
I was half expecting another pod small key.
I was definitely expecting another pod small key. So if Azure keeps rechecking these entrances, eventually he will find the right one, but it could take a while to get to the one that he needs. Illus, in the meantime, is going to do the second chest of Castle Tower. We don't care about finishing this because we know that all that's behind it is a heart container.
And the mitts, that is an interesting find for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those items. I mean, we have access to most of the mitts locked areas, so it doesn't open that much. But I mean, when it does open, could be required. So like, yeah, it's a big unknown.
Yeah, the thing that makes it interesting is we're really bottlenecked right now.
Yes, we are.
Illus has to check East Dark World, and then there's one entrance at Dark Shopping Mall, the bomb wall that we couldn't find since we came in through the rock.
Right.
And then now we can check Ice Palace, which I'm sure Illus will do right now.
Maybe you can do some flippers checks.
Oh yeah, never mind. Because if you check it, you'll lose your Dark World. So.
Yeah, he can do this whole. Yeah, he can do this whole East Dark World area now, because of the flippers.
So yeah, I mean the mitts could potentially lead to something, you know, or it could be hanging out here on East Dark World, which
this is important.
That's a good find.
Yeah, now Illus can go into Hookless Swamp. Well, no, he can't. He can do one chest in Hookless Swamp. No small key. I think Azure may be trying to Super Bunny this, but this does not work. With a sword, he could probably do it, but no sword, so he's got to get that sword. He needs to find the big key to desert and get to the big chest there. Though, can he use arrows or something if he... I know you can't use bombs.
The only thing that you could use as a weapon is a sword.
That's what I thought. So
you can also use
really hard to do this.
Bottles. You can also use bottles as money, but that's not helpful in non-glitch to modes.
Yeah. So maybe gonna do... I mean, he could go into Castle Tower. It's definitely risky because nothing to see by, but he does have that small key. Could get those mitts. Maybe he knows something we don't, because he's really trying to do this. Meanwhile, Ill's gonna check Vanilla Pod. Let's see what's here. Oh, nothing. I mean, he could play the arrow game to get his money back. Looks like he even is going to do that.
Yeah, we don't have Zora money, so at least getting up to that again would probably be beneficial, because I imagine Illus will go all the way up to Catfish at this rate.
Yeah, this is really unfortunate, though, for Azure. I feel like he was really trying to get that hookshot before going to Hookshot Cave, and now that he isn't going to get it, I feel like he's forgotten it. He's going to do some fake flippering, which isn't going to get him much.
Oh, not going to walk out. Is going to instead start a new route. So we'll see what Illus does, given that he has the mitts.
This is a new entrance, though.
Yeah, this is something definitely brand new. We
No
know this
moon
isn't
pearl.
logic,
No
but
moon pearl, you can't get that. There are 2 items there, just waiting to be picked up.
Azder could get a water.
Nah, he needs a water walk. But where are you gonna get that from?
Yeah, you can. You can get it from Lost Woods.
Oh gosh, that's a long ways away. Yeah, that's a good point.
But in his case, I mean, he's clearly lost. So, I mean, it's something to do.
Yeah, let's see if
I
he
would
goes.
I would do it if I was in his position, just because it gives me more time to think and be productive at the same time.
Yep, that's fair. He's gonna go to Link's house. He's still thinking about what his next move is. You know, we're gonna see the Dark Potion shop and probably Catfish from Illus. If this is anything, it is new. It is a shop. It is nothing. And oh, yeah, they have that mushroom to turn in. Might as well do it now. Azur's gonna go do the second chest at Castle Tower.
And we'll get mitts, so that doesn't really help, but...
No, it really does nothing for him right now. But he'll have him. And Ill's gonna do Catfish, and we'll probably mirror to the Zora area. Has enough money. So he is gonna be able to do all the checks here, because he's got the flippers, and he's got a Moon Pearl, so no issues here. Catfish gives us 20 rupees, which he doesn't even care to pick up.
But I'd like to point out that we're at an hour and we're still only on 6 hearts.
Yeah, that's Crosskeys. Okay, so if Azure never gets back to that cave, he's not missing anything. Red Boomerang's nice, but certainly not crucial. Let's see what's on the ledge. Piece of heart, also not crucial. Azure gets his mitts and leaves, knowing that there's nothing behind Agam 1.
Yeah, it just occurred to me.
Nice refund on your money.
That Azure doesn't even have a really good way of making money. I see people discussing that in chat. So, has the shovel though, so could dig up the funds for Zora.
That sounds a horrible thing.
But that's an awful time waste to get up from 219.
Yeah. Oh, he's got King's Tomb, so he's got one check.
He can still Houlihan. That is a good point.
That is a thing he could do, and maybe he does that right now. But unfortunately, that's not the answer. For him, Zora is in logic, though, with those myths, so that may be the thing he pursues. Let's see if he goes... Nope, he's going the other direction.
Theoretically, he could check the Ice Palace entrance, but will go in as a bunny, so may or may not be useful there.
Yeah. I mean, there could be a thing there, but... And he doesn't know this, but that those mitts are in logic. The glove is completely... Sorry, the lamp is completely accessible to him. So it would have been possible for the Moon Pearl to be there. We just know it's not there because we've seen it. Okay, it looks like he's headed towards the Skullwoods area. I don't recall. Azure went and I think he full cleared this, except maybe the big chest. I'm not sure if he got the big chest. Didn't find a whole lot here. Hey, the drop down we never see ever in regular rando. And there's one of those locked doors that we never open. And that room looks a little bit different because he hit the star thingy. we're gonna get a hobo check. And just 10 arrows. Ah, that's right, we got the shovel here, which led to nothing. No doubt Illus will check that, though.
What do we even have left from Illus?
Oh,
we have Meyer, some Firelock stuff, but
GT climb.
that too.
Oh boy. So a lot of real badness. Yeah, so yeah, he hasn't done any of Meyer, so yeah, so going in there with the lamp would make sense. And we have the 3 chests in the GT climb. That's what we have.
Smith chain's another one.
Smith chain, yes. Smith chain, hammer pegs. Ether is the entrances to Turtle Rock, so we can't do that. He does have some. I don't remember which connector it was, but there is a connector with access to Dark Death Mountain. Oh, hey, money. Well, unfortunately, this is going to be a time sink for Azure to farm a bunch of money just to get 300 back. Or not. Okay, no, he's going to check this first. With the mirror, this makes sense, but I don't think this was anything. Did we see this one? Oh, it is something. It's pod.
So at least this will give Azder some things to do, but with one small key, and no hammer, not gonna really get very far.
There are 4 items he can get to very easily if he wants to open the middle door. He can get to, what, 2 more? Yeah, 2 more. I think you open the middle door here, and if he finds a hook shot, that's really what he needs to find, because that's the most likely thing that would get him to remember that hook shot cave. It does get blue mail. So I'd like to see Illus go into Meyer, to be honest, so we can see those Firelock chests. If his only choices are really Meyer and GT climb without a hook shot. If it were me, okay. He's doing the Smith chain. That makes sense to do that first.
Yeah, but someone else pointed out.
Yeah.
That mirroring to back of escape is a thing as well.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
Illus might do that.
That's a good idea.
In this trip.
Yeah, because he can turn the Smith, or he can just do it from here. It doesn't matter. Have we found the Smith? I mean, we've seen most of the Light World entrances. For those that don't know, the Smith has to be in the Light World.
I'm certain we have.
Hard to imagine we didn't. Small key to Turtle Rock, big key to Thieves Town, which we have not found. Small key to Pod. So I think between the 2 runners, we have 4 pod small keys, which is enough to full clear the dungeon if you use your keys right. Now, of course, we also need a big key and a hammer, but little details.
Yep, if you don't open the front door and you do the hammer jump, then 4 keys is all you need. But you have to do like 3 loops to get everything, which is a huge time sink as well. So the optimal amount that you'd want to go in there if you want to like try to single dip it is 5 keys.
Yes. Like hammer jump is super powerful in Crosskeys. It's interesting, but less useful in normal modes, because sometimes it can clean up your routing a little bit sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't even do that. But in Crosskeys, any key Sandy, really, being able to save that 1 small key. Yeah. And yes, to answer chat, Azure did find a book in Pod, which gives him 1 more check.
Yep, has access to Bombos tablet, and can open the front entrance of Desert, but I don't think there was anything there. And here's Ice Palace.
And he can only check the Bombos tablet since he does not have a sword. or even one sword, let alone two. This is the I'm gonna farm money for Zora play. Yeah, chat calling this time is money, and you know what? Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if he just goes straight for the... Yeah, he's gonna save and quit. He might actually save scum this money, but, I mean... There's not a lot of money left to be spent, although, I mean, Pod, regular entrance is a location that he has not checked, so may want to keep that money. Azure, not the type to worry about potions. In fact, neither one of these runners who I expect to do a whole lot of potion buying. Illus with that small key is going to be able to... okay. No cane, so we have to do the bomb jump. Well, no, we're not going to... I don't think he'll do a bomb jump. It only becomes useful if you find the hammer, so... You will have to do this, though, in the more traditional routing.
I'm in the camp of do it anyway, just in case you happen to find hammer. But,
yeah, that's understandable. I tend to be in the camp of... I don't want to have to fall down the hole to come back up to check iced tea, which is in logic. And, oh well, if it's a hammer, I'm just screwed. But Illus is in your camp. He's going to go ahead and do the bomb jump. Nothing wrong with that. Also good to keep this in practice, because, you know, there are times it is required. As great as Icebreaker is, can't always be used.
Because this seed is definitely one of those seeds where if you found hammer in Ice Palace, you wouldn't be surprised at all.
No. There's that $300 that Azder's gonna get back. He does reset it. Although 300, I mean, it almost doesn't matter. But, you know, you can go ahead and reset and have more money. It's fine. Yeah. Let's see if he remembers to go... I mean, it doesn't... At this point, it's not even remembers to go. He's kind of retraced everything else. So at some point, maybe he retraces back over to Desert and sees that hookshot cave. And one last check for... Actually, I don't think he's gone up the right side yet. But we are going to see iced tea first. Just a map. And it's a completely useless map. Okay, is this finally going to be go back to Hookshot Cave? He's in the right area. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so this is going to get Azure progression, but he's way behind. He's going to need to spike something good at some point in the seed to really get back in this. But still, a lot of time left. Oh, it was firing off that bombos a little bit too early. He doesn't get both of the freezors. I hate when that happens. And just a compass for his trouble. Okay, that should have been Azure's Mushroom. And a small key to Skullwoods in the big chest, so... Nothing in ice, sadly.
Yeah, so... With Azure, I would say it's like... Almost 100% likely that he forgot about that connector and just was not refusing to go there.
I think at first it was a refusal to go there, then turned into a forget. Because for a while it was like, okay, he wants that hook shot. But eventually he was retracing other things.
Yeah. So I feel like you know, what do you do in this situation where you've been looking for that connection for quite some time?
You did find Eastern Palace. You can do that. Because you can fall a bunch of times. And we see Ice Rod Cave. You do need to Super Bunny this if you're going to open. I do believe you can Super Bunny this one, but you have to actually do it. Meanwhile, we're going to see new stuff over in Meyer on Illus's side, so this will be interesting. Small key to Thieves Town. That could be useful. I did not see what Illus just picked up, though, because they were opening chests at the same time. Okay. less interesting. If there's something in the Thieves Town big chest and Illus doesn't have that Thieves Town small key, that could matter. Back at Desert, he can't do that because no big key yet.
And no fire source.
Yeah, other details. Connector. Looks like it doesn't want to quite go through yet. I'm gonna go ahead and check the dark entrance here first, or check these other entrances first. Oh, you want to go here? Yeah, this is the sword.
Yep. So this will be Azder's first sword. And then if he bomb jumps across, that'll bring him to the mire area.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna leave this. Not worry about the connector. I think he's probably seen the other connector. See, Illus got a blue cane in that last Firelocke chest, so nothing really interesting on the Firelocke side of Misery Mire. And I believe this was the Old Man Cave, and it looks like Azder's gonna go ahead and follow it, which is really good. I'll get him over to the other side of the mountain, which is where a lot of the things he needs to do is, where he can get those first 3 items in GT, get the flippers, get the lamp.
Well, one thing he'll be able to do that Illus hasn't done is Ether Tablet.
Yeah, he'll be able to check it. Also, has Illus saved and quit to the old man spot?
I don't think so. I can't recall.
That could be interesting. Bad Ice Rod Cave. I like to call that Bad Ice Rod Cave because it's the other side where you just get fairies if you want them. Okay, so there really wasn't anything in Misery Mire, so are we left with the GT climb?
We still have Purple Chest.
We still have Purple Chest.
We have Pod, because
Yes.
Azder did find Pod, so that
Yes,
has
he did.
been accessible with those mitts.
And Illus has lots of small keys, so you could do a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to do Purple Chest first. Looks like he's going to walk it over. A little surprised. I'm not sure there's anything he has on this trail that he can exploit, whereas he could just save and quit to Link's house and drag it that way. Oh no, he's got the shovel. That's what he wants to do. Okay. I think the shovel is just a piece of heart or something. Okay, yeah, you've been in that cave, Azure. That's where the old man popped you out. How many pod gets? 4 pod keys for Illus. I mean, you could do all of the front and gamble that you're just going to get the last pod small key. I mean, you are eventually if it's required.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. Yeah, without the hammer, you're gonna have to burn that front door small key.
Yes. But you could full clear the rest. Alternatively, you could skip one of. A lot of people will either skip Harmless Hellway or the Vanilla Big Key Chest in order to save 1 key just in case.
Or you could risk it all and skip the boss and say, I'll find it later.
Yeah, and we don't know a lot about our pendants and crystals as you're in GT, so he's going to get some good stuff here. But yeah, you could... I mean, it could be a pendant. You might never need to kill Helmosaur, so that's also a possibility. We got flippers. Or the other possibility is if it's the end of your route, you could take a death to the start of pod and pick one. And save scum it if it's nothing. As you're going to get his lamp. Can't go on, because you can sequence break the left side without the hook shot, but you cannot sequence break the left side without the hammer.
And
there's the
other
back
side
of the old man.
Yep, there's the other side of old man. So Illus is going to go full clear Eastern right now.
Yeah, he's got the big key. He can do that.
But knowing that the back of Old Man leads there could be useful if he wants to, say, explore Spiral Cave. It's really easy to just run through Spiral Cave, get that item, and mark it as done.
Yeah, absolutely. Just in general, that's a pretty good spot. Azure doesn't want to talk to the bomb guy. Yeah, no, you want to talk to the bomb guy. He has information for you. We already knew this on Illus's side. In fact, he has access to the big bomb as it is, but without a hammer... oh, wait, without a flute, I don't know how you get it back over there. And not to mention a hammer to open up the portal there. I guess there's you could kill Aga 1 for that. That would be awful if the Seed wanted that. That would just be wrong. Don't do that to us, Seed, please.
You would, in fact, need to have the flute because you can't save and quit with.
Yeah,
the
you still need the flute. Yes. So as long as we don't have the flute, as long as we find the hammer before the flute, that's not a possibility. But it is a way it could be done. Oh, but there's a hammer, so not going to be an issue.
And Ether Tablet, just a piece of heart. So.
And that hammer being in the big chest is probably good that Azure did not... Oh, he does have the big key, doesn't he? Let's say he could have gotten that then. But other things distracted him. And it's probably just as well, because these other things are things he needs to do. He needs to get over to the Mire area so he can get his Moon Pearl in Hyrule Castle.
So at this point, I would say Illus probably has GT on the short list. Might do some other things before that, but it's definitely now on the radar with that hammer.
Yeah, he could sequence break the left side. The hook shot could be all the way in the back. The game may expect him to have the Cane of Samaria for that, wherever that cane is. Obviously, it won't be on path there because you need the hook shot to get to those. The Stalfos room, the vanilla map, the random room, all that stuff behind the hook shot.
So I feel like my gut tells me that hookshot's in a bad spot. We don't have many. Obviously, we don't have many good spots left. Pod is not bad. Illus could certainly go, but doesn't know that Pod is there. So.
Yeah, but I could see him checking that spot before heading over up the GT climb.
However, it wouldn't be bad to find hookshot there, but I just feel like maybe it's in the climb.
Something's in the climb. You hope it's hookshot. Okay, with that lamp, Azure's going to check the rest of Mire.
It also could be in... Let's see. Yeah, we got all the Ice Palace keys. So actually it could be there.
I think we saw... Oh, right, because now Illus has that hammer, so you can finish that.
Mm-hmm. So
we get a map check.
Swamp.
Or it could be a hover seed.
And a crystal.
It could just flat out be a hover
Palace.
seed. Pretty certain we saw the other end of this connector and it didn't go anywhere interesting. But Illus might prove me wrong.
I believe Illus has been through here, so it must go somewhere interesting.
Oh, there we go. We have not seen, at least not from the back. Okay. I thought
So-
maybe he was mirroring to check those entrances. I don't know that he has or not.
With having all of the Ice Palace keys, I actually might do that first. Because it
Yeah.
seems like it's the logical thing to do. You know, in terms of the
It
seed
sucks
logic.
yeah, it sucks to do it without Kane, but I mean, Kane could be behind it. If I were Illus and I knew where Pod was, I would do Pod first, as much as I can, because that's just so item dense.
Yeah.
That's like 10 items you can pick up even without the big key. And you can now, if you choose to, spend your keys in such a way to have that last key. Yeah, like you say, it's slow to do it, but it is a doable thing. Mimic came with a Quake Medallion, which does nothing for us. But he doesn't know where that pod entrance is, and if that's the only entrance he hasn't checked, that's one entrance that could be like a fortune teller or something, versus 3 items you can get on the GT climb. And of course, and the whole left side open with hammer and bomb jumps. Not logically open, but is open. We are gonna see hammer pegs.
We're also missing an entire dungeon in the Way of Thieves Town.
We have not seen Thieves Town. Is that the only one we haven't seen? Yeah, I think that is the only one we haven't seen.
And I believe, unless it's a pendant and it's on GT, then we have Ether that we need.
Could be behind that Ether medallion.
But in terms of entrances, they haven't checked.
There's not a lot left. I was just gonna try that hover again. What was the connection that got Illus over to the Mire area? That's really where Azure needs to get to.
There was a couple. One was one is if you bomb jump across in Spec Rock from the item side,
Right.
And then the other one was, I believe it was on the West Death Mountain side, something over there. I can't remember what it was though.
Yeah, I feel like it was from West Death Mountain. Yeah, Azure's gonna give up on the hover this time. I kind of like that he tried it, but didn't try it to the point of killing himself, and now is just gonna follow this connector and check whatever caves he hasn't checked. I don't think he's done as much of the. I think there's some entrances on that west side that he hasn't done, and obviously if there's one that connects to. Sees that ether. And Illus is now in pod, so gets red mail, which is nice. We'll get to see more in pod. Ah, yes, a bombos, and so he also already has. There's that book. The problem with the mountain here is it's a constant resetting to do entrances, because it's very hard to do them efficiently, even when you have all the items, let alone when you don't.
Well, I mean, the thing is, our runners, Illus did all the mountain pretty much before we found out where the Back of Old Man went.
Yes.
And azder has not explored the Back of Old Man yet, but that would greatly increase the speed at which you clear that mountain.
Yep, it would. And I still don't think either one of them is saved and quit to the Old Man. We're going to get some new pod checks. Piece of heart, not very interesting.
So
I think this is going to
Azder-
be. I think he's going to keep trying this hover until he gets it, or until he runs out of hearts each time he goes across the mountain.
Honestly, I don't blame him, because, like I said, given that I'm pretty sure he forgot, can't say with 100%, but it looked certainly like he forgot that that connector.
Ooh, there's that Kane of Samaria.
But
Put more in more of GT actually in logic.
when you're in a position where you're spending 20, 30 minutes not knowing what you're doing, this seems like a reasonable thing to do.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Also, according to one of our trackers, Serio X, tracker's always our MVP. Professor Pixie, the other one, he has checked the front of Old Man. We've seen it from Illus' side.
So,
At Dark
fire.
Sank.
Looks like Illus is starting to find this seed stride. The middle of this seed really kind of slow burn.
Yeah.
As you know, it's not like it's terrible. It's just it takes a while to get going again.
Okay, so Azur's now pretty much cleared the east part of Death Mountain. There's some stuff left in the west. He could have gone into the Dark World and finished, gone and done Eastern. That would have been nice. Would have gotten him that hammer. Would have been for him out of logic. He still doesn't have that Moon Pearl. It looks like he's just gonna, try the hover again and then head over to that part of the mountain.
So we now have access to right side GT.
Yep. I would be heading back
I wonder
there.
if that's where Illus is going right now.
He looks like he wants to do some East Dark Death Mountain stuff first. Now that he knows where this is.
I mean, this could be the fastest way to GT, to be honest. I can't think of a faster way than this.
Yeah, that makes sense, because you can start there and then mirror here and then go through the connector. Answer the question in Cat Chat about why didn't Illus finish Pod. He doesn't have a big key. That's necessary. Okay, we're gonna get some GT checks. Looks like we're gonna start with Tile Room. I always like that when, like, the one time you want to do Tile Room right away. He's got a cape, so he can do this pretty safely. Or did he not pick up the cape? Yeah, he's got it. He just doesn't want to use it. Okay.
Illus deciding not to take the lazy way out.
That's what I would. I would take the lazy way out every time. Okay, that's it for the hover tries on Azure side. So now hopefully he goes to the east part of Death Mountain and gets that connector that he needs. Power room just with some rupees. We continue on. The better question is, if he doesn't get the hook shot here, does he climb?
So
Azure just gonna go. Yeah, he's just gonna do Eastern Palace. He can full clear this. There's no reason not to do it. He'll get a hammer out of it, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, sometimes when you're at a loss in Crosskeys, it's better to just keep busy and keep checking stuff than to just sit there and think, okay, what's the right way to do stuff?
Yep. Big key to Pod. Thanks, game. Now I think you go finish Pod maybe before you climb. I don't know. That's really only 2 extra items, and we don't even know if that's a crystal or a pendant. But it's definitely makes it a harder decision, I think, than before.
Well, let's take a look here at what we've got in terms of what we're missing. We're missing the hook shot, which may not even be needed
May not be.
We're missing a Turtle Rock Big Key.
Yep.
We don't know if it's pendant or crystal.
Yep.
We're missing a Mire Big Key.
With the same caveat.
We're missing an Ice Rod if
Turtle Rock is the
required.
crystal.
But and a swamp, or well, not a swamp key. Never mind. We don't want that one.
Yeah, we'd rather never see. At this point, I think we'd rather just never see that swamp small.
Oh, and we're missing potentially Ether for Thieves Town access.
Yeah, we're running out of entrances where that Thieves Town could be.
Or maybe Flute for Pyramid Fairy access.
Yeah. With that bomb shop not in a place where we could just walk it over there, even if we kill Aga 1. And with the hammer, we don't have to worry about that.
So Illus is still looking for a decent amount of items, so density definitely could still be the play.
Yeah, and Azder's not gonna be able to finish this. He doesn't have that Eastern Big Key. I was looking at that marking all wrong, so that's a little unfortunate. Gonna miss that hammer. I don't know where the Eastern Big Key was. Okay, I think we're gonna see bomb jumps from Illus on the right side here. I'm sorry, on the left side.
Yeah.
This won't be a hook shot, so it won't entice him into the climb. But, I mean, it could be one of those other things that you mentioned. Okay, as you're done with the Eastern Palace, the bad thing about this for him is because he doesn't have that Eastern Big Key, he's going to be less incentivized to go back there. The good news is it is a crystal. Not that he knows that yet, but it does mean that eventually he will have to get back there. So far, Stalfos room with nothing. The real problem here is, with that hook shot possibly not even required in this seed, like, it could be that it's just the real end of a chain where that hook shot is, and just there's nothing behind it, and doing these sequence breaks aren't going to get Illus anything. There's also the problem with Azure continuing going for that hover, so, you know, we just don't know. Map to Eastern.
We already know that one.
Yep. Azure is going to knock out Desert here. I like this call here.
Apparently, the diagonal button being broken on Illus's D-pad.
We'll just use some Mario strats. It's fine. Okay, Azure finally gets his first crystal on the board. I'm gonna have to do another bomb jump to get the next chest, and that'll be the last one. Another pod small key. Okay, this was the Mire area, so now Azure's gonna be able to get the stuff that he needs to get.
Yep. Moon Pearl being underneath the checkerboard cave entrance. I forgot what was there.
It's the castle. It's in the first chest of the castle. Half magic's nice. And a tempered sword's really nice. So, it's got some luxury items, but nothing required.
Okay.
On that,
so Illus is going for the 9 items.
Well, he's going to go for 3 items, then we'll see if he hovers for the last ones.
I would say that committing to the climb is committing to the hover if you can hover at all.
Yeah, I think he's going to go for it, and then the question is, does he get it, really? I mean, he's shown that he can at least passively do it. It is a shorter distance than the hookshot cave.
Yeah, Illus alternatively, if they are practiced in Moldorm Bounce, could do that.
Okay, yeah, Azure has a Moon Pearl. That's gotta make him happy. Doesn't feel good to get it this late, and he's gotta know he's behind with all the trouble he had remembering to get back to Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, he knows that he's been behind for quite some time.
Yep.
It's a matter of what do you do, like, with that information, because, there's a lot of things that you can speculate about a seed. Oh, did my opponent find this or that first? But when you know that you were lost and
Yes.
without anything to do for a significant period of time, you will 100% assume you're behind by a significant margin, and then how do you operate from there? How do you get back into it?
So, like, there's a difference between... So, Illus went and bomb jumped the left side of GT, and he got a couple of nice items, but it also isn't required. So, the items he got maybe don't even save enough time for what he got. So, he's going to feel like, you know, maybe my opponent didn't do this, and they're gonna you know, be ahead of me because of that. But he can also think, but, you know, there's a good chance my opponent did do this because, you know, it was a reasonable play to make. Azder, on the other hand, is not going to be thinking that, oh, hey, my opponent got just as lost as I did and had trouble getting over there. So there is definitely a difference in that kind of mindset. He's going to get his second crystal over here doing Hera, so that at least is going to get him something. Half Magic Illus chooses to use the Fire Rod here on these torches, almost to the point where we're going to get some new checks here from him.
Yeah, if Hookshot shows up here, I will not be shocked at all.
I think something's going to be here. It might just be some sort of key, but Hookshot is definitely a possibility. Or we could get a piece of heart. And another piece of heart. Not even a refill. That's rude. And one more in logic check. Big key to Misery Mire. So that could be another one of our crystals. He's going to keep going. At least he's going to try for the hover.
So that's something we can actually, you know, finish is this Mire. So that's interesting.
That is interesting. Okay, as you're finishing up Moldorm. I think if you're Asher, you go to Pod. Oh wait, he doesn't have the big key there yet. Never mind. Where the big key was over here in... Where was that Pod big key? It wasn't... Oh, okay. So he needs to go to Pod to get the cane to come back to GT to get the Pod big key to finish Pod. Oh, that's so ugly. I don't know, what has he got in small keys? He's still got one pod small key, and yeah, so he needs to get some of those pod small keys that are scattered all over the universe. And Illus did get the hover, so we'll get to see what's in Cackwell. I feel like when you absolutely have to do it, for some of these players that aren't as good, it becomes I won't say easier, just maybe more likely that you're just gonna bear down and get it.
So, what will we find? Not Hookshot. We can still find some big keys, or an Ice Rod. But I think,
And Ether.
Yeah, we could find Ether. But Illus is getting close to nearing the end here. I'm pretty sure at this point, you know, it's possible that Thieves Town is ether locked, but we do have a couple more entrances that we can poke at.
We don't even know for sure that Thieves Town is a pendant or a crystal. So yeah, it could be the classic. Your last pendant dungeon is at Ganon's Tower. And nothing in the well except maps. So we can at least maybe we can find out maybe what our...
Yeah, Illus picked up 2 maps that we don't know the answer
I would,
to.
Yeah, we're going to check those. Pod is a crystal.
Pod and Mire are crystals, so Illus is going to go do Mire in short order.
Climb is required. And we're still down to Thieves Town and Turtle Rock. You know, it's kind of nasty because we have the Thieves Town big key, but we don't have the location. We have the Turtle Rock location.
Azder has the Turtle Rock information.
Oh, he does.
So we know then that Thieves Town is that last pendant.
Oh, we don't have to worry
We
about
know
Thieves
that.
Town.
But Illus, I don't know if Illus.
Yeah, I don't know if Illus knows that or not, because he just did his map check and we didn't see it.
Actually, yeah. Illus on his tracker does not have a definitive answer for Thieves Town or Turtle Rock.
So it shouldn't have those marked on his tracker. On his tracker that you all can see. We can see the runner's trackers on our views.
So then that's
we're dueling ice
rod,
palaces.
ice rod, and a TR big key.
Yep.
And that's it.
So it means Azure has to do the climb. Does not have to kill Agatu. Illus gonna have a nicer ice palace. 1, he's got Icebreaker, he's got that cane, and 2, he's got a Tempered Sword. And 3, he's got Fire Rod. So like all around a nicer ice palace. He's gonna be able to do this a lot faster. Azure, on the other hand, won't have to double dip this, so there is that. No, Azure will have to double this. He doesn't have that hammer yet because he still doesn't have that Eastern Big Key. And the hammer is behind the Eastern Big Key. So this is going to be... this is his first trip into Ice Palace. And we'll have to come back here later. Unfortunately, nothing in here for him.
Yeah, I mean, Azder just got, Moon Pearl recently, so now that you have all this stuff open to you, and you know you're behind, like, what do you do first? And I'm pretty sure Purple Chest is not first.
No, not at all. Yeah, the real problem is, like, he's got to be looking for corners to cut at this point, but there's really no corners to cut. Those pod keys scattered throughout the universe, and he needs the pod key to get to the cane, the pod keys to get to the cane of Samaria in pod, to go back to GT to get stuff. He needs to do the purple chest for the Eastern Big Key. So, there's a lot of little details that he needs to pick up that are things that you'd be apt to skip when you know you're behind. News is by the time he gets back here, there's a really good chance he's going to have a better loadout for this dungeon. May not get that Tempered Sword. I suspect that's definitely something he can and probably will skip, would be that left side GT play.
Illus getting the 6th of the pod 6-pack, so we'll be able to just kind of wander around through the dungeon as he pleases, without having to worry about doing anything fancy.
Yep.
Probably still will do the hammer jump, but since it is faster if you get it on the first try.
Yeah, because
even our first few tries, actually.
I mean, it doesn't make as big of a difference if you're still checking those other chests, but I think he did check the other chests already. So if you're just doing the big chest, you'd rather not go all the way through the dark maze, even if you have the keys to do it. And he's gonna head right over there, and that makes sense. Finish up pod, and then he can start looking for, figure out what entrances he hasn't gone through to get to Thieves Town. Not Thieves Town. We don't care about Thieves Town. Well, he might be looking for it still, but he still needs to find that Turtle Rock Big Key. Okay, left the big key chest behind because wanted to save that last small key just in case you didn't find the other ones. Just a piece of heart. Let's see. Maybe I think I'd do the boss here, and then if the boss doesn't have the thing I need, then go back in. Or I should say a thing I need. I mean, the hookshot still could come into play. We don't know what's in Hookshot Cave, but at this point, the only way that's needed is if say Ether was in Hookshot Cave, and and Thieves Town was required to get a TR big key. Could be a really nasty chain. Azure never got to the connector here, so he's going to see what's over here, which I don't believe is much of anything.
Yeah, and Thieves Town, if it's not locked by the crystals, still could be required, along with Swamp, to find whatever our item that we're missing are. So
Right, and we're still missing an ice rod too. Let's not forget that.
yeah.
Basically, we need the things for Turtle Rock. Will's about to get into a Helmasaur fight. We'll see if Helmasaur will drop anything good for us. I'm trying to think of what parts of Turtle Rock we have not seen. Have we seen Laser Bridge at all? Have either of them gotten well, we can't because we haven't found the entrance and we don't have the big key. I know we could get to the fire locked area.
You know what? We have not seen the Turtle Rock Bridge. So Thieves Town could be up there as well.
Yeah, that's true.
But
got to be a connector that takes us there.
But yeah, we haven't seen Laser Bridge, and we haven't seen the front because Kane was just a kind of a recent find here. So
yeah,
Illus took the Kane and went straight to GT, so has not been back to Turtle Rock to check the front 3 chests as well,
which makes a lot of sense. See where he heads next. Yeah, I mean, now that he's got things for Turtle Rock, I mean, I feel like so that's 3 checks he can do in Turtle Rock. So it makes sense to do them. I'm gonna finish Meyer first. That makes it probably even more sense. That's 2 items.
So I mean, theoretically, I think there is a way for Azure to come back, but realistically, it would require him going straight to progression all the way through, which, with things like Eastern Big Key at Purple Chest, I just don't see happening.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like I said, all the stuff that you would want to skip to try and catch up are all the things that he needs to do. And that chain for the Cane into the pod big key is just nasty. The biggest time save he can have is not doing the left side of GT. The problem there is we haven't seen the 4th sword, and he hasn't gotten back into desert to get the 2nd one. And he needs a sword. Like, I mean, maybe we'll find the 4th one on path, and he'll have, Master Sword is enough for him to beat the game, especially with silvers. It's not so bad for someone of his caliber, but also not preferable.
Yeah, because when you look at ice rod hunts in Crosskeys, they can be very time consuming. Given that ice rod is one of those items that's just going to be anywhere. So especially if it's maybe even ether locked, and then we're looking for ether.
Yep.
That's another one. So there's plenty of potential time for Azder to get the things that he needs, but it's dwindling as Illus completes more checks.
Yeah, the thing that would get him back in essentially is, like you say, get through progression as quickly as he can, and then just the ice rod or the Turtle Rock big key be in a bad enough spot that he can find one or both of those items before Illus does.
Yeah, and it would basically require it to be one of the checks Illus skipped, like Pod Big Chest.
Yeah.
you know, to really kind of throw Illus for a loop enough to get azder back in.
But, you know, until somebody's in go mode, it's hard to call anything over. Because Illus is just, you know, running out of things to do, so he's got a lot closer to getting to that potential go mode.
Yeah, I have seen some wild gaps get closed in Crosskeys before because of, you know, a one missing item that it's just the one check that someone skipped.
Yep.
And they've written it off and said, I'm not going back there. So, this might be purple chest for azder.
Yeah, he's turning in the smith. He's gonna check this drop down first. Kind of cool. The smith will follow you more places in Crosskeys. I think he'll follow you on a drop down and stuff, but there are definitely places that you can go with the smith that you can't go in a normal seed. There's that Thieves' Big Key for azder. And a pod small.
And it looks like Illus is going to in front of Turtle Rock here. Without the big key, can't get to the bank down the laser bridge unless we find that laser bridge entrance, which likely is either locked by something or spits out at Turtle Rock Bridge. Bridge. I actually think it has to go to Turtle Rock Bridge because I think we've seen all the other connectors.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, yeah, it's true. Yeah, we're out of connectors. Okay, there. Azur's gonna get a smith turn in. He also was it Mini Moldorm that had the 2 pod smalls. That would be a really good place. I think Azur. I know he saw Mini Moldorm. It was in the Dark World. He couldn't. He tried really hard to get it and couldn't because there was just no way to do that.
Yeah, Mini Moldorm at Swamp Palace entrance was where those 2 were.
Yep. He's just gonna go into pod with the smalls that he has. This
he
will not.
He will be able to get the cane and fire rod. So I mean, that's fine.
Can he? I think he needs.
Yeah, because they were in Turtle Room and Dark Basement.
Oh, okay, he already opened the middle door. Okay, that's why.
Yeah. So all the important stuff, I think, we can get. Because I don't think anything else was important.
Which makes sense. Everything else is locked by 6 pod smalls.
But big news on Illus' side is finding the big key up in the front.
Which could mean a an ice rod on laser bridge. That'd be classic.
That would be something.
Oh, but he needs another small key. He needs a small key to finish the dungeon or to find. Well, he's just used the one he has, so finding laser bridge wouldn't do him any good. But you're probably right about where it's going to spit him out anyway. But even if the ice rod's here, this is not go mode.
Yeah.
And you're correct. It is exactly where you thought, and that makes perfect sense. Maybe the ice rod's here. Maybe a small key is here.
There's our shot. That is wow. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh gosh.
Okay, game.
Thanks, game.
All right, so that's
Well, you finished laser bridge here at the very least, and hope you get something. But
so you get mitts relatively easily. You get 3 easy pod smalls. So that'll get you to
cane.
the cane and fire rod, which will then allow you to do the front of Turtle Rock to get that big key to go down the laser bridge. And yeah.
And because of the layout, and because Laser Bridge is not accessible from the bottom in any other way, you need an extra small TR key, which means even if he finds the ice rod here. Oh no. Oh no. He wouldn't be able to finish this, but we found something. I mean, maybe it's got both items that we now need, but that is a Swamp Small. And we have a hook shot now. And we have flippers, and we flooded the dam, and we know where Swamp is.
At least
Illus,
the seed,
I'm headed right over there.
At least the seed was nice enough to give us the hook shot before having to go to Swamp, because it could have had an item in Swamp, maybe Ether, that locked the hook shot and made it even worse.
Oh, that's so gross. Okay, Azure gets his Eastern big key, so maybe that sends him back over there.
And let's see what, if Azure got that hover off, what he would have walked away with as a prize.
So far, not much of anything.
Well, it's a good thing he gave up on him.
Yeah, just some rupees. I didn't even see with the first one. I saw some rupees in the second, so it's not very useful. And Azure going to get the rest of his pod smalls. Well, not the rest of them, but 2 more. So now he has to go finish Eastern so he can get a hammer. So he can finish pod. No, so actually he doesn't need that hammer until after he does the GT stuff. Still needs a sword too. We're gonna get a. I don't think we've seen the Bombos tablet yet. Unfortunately, we're just gonna see it. We're not gonna get it, and we're never gonna get it because it's just money. Illus hopping into Swamp because you can.
Yep. So.
No, Azure, no.
Here we go again.
Oh my god, he just really wants this item, and it's nothing here. And now we know it's nothing here. Oh. So far, Swamp with a big shield. I think this is going to be I'm going to try until I have 1 heart, then I'm heading over to Eastern. That's my guess. Yeah, I'm looking at, we're now at the 2-hour mark. I don't think anybody's sub-2s this seed.
Yeah, it's set up in a way to where if you do normal routing options, you're just going to have a slow time in the mid seed.
Yep.
So, Aster just taking a peek at this entrance, gonna find out, oh, this is Old Man Cave. I could have been using this a lot more. Meanwhile, Illus is just gonna go straight to the back. This is I'm fine with this because
faster,
at
it's
this
more
point,
checks.
all you need is Ice Rod. So basically, you're just gonna hope that it's here.
He needs a TR small.
Oh yeah, dude does need it. Oh well,
or did
he never killed the Pokey, so he could get that key there.
Ah, okay. Be nice for him to find a TR small then.
Yep.
What Azur's looking for over. Oh, GT. Okay, he's gonna do GT before he does. Which is good because it'll keep him away from that left side. Other than he still needs a sword. We won't be able to do the left side at all because no hammer. Like I said, you can break the hook shot for that, but you can't break the hammer. Yeah, I like going to the back here. I mean, because it means you can't do the diver down, so you'll lose a little bit of time going to the left side if it's the answer's there. But it is more item dense in this area. And you're just looking for that one. We get a small key to Ganon's tower. Thanks, game.
All right, well, that's a pendant. So
Not even the good pendant. I guess he goes back in and does left side.
we also have, in terms of item checks, we've got Moth we can kill.
Yep.
Moth's been around for quite some time.
Yeah, that's right. We saw him a long time ago. We didn't have a sword at the time, I think. Or maybe didn't have a fire rod. Might have been able to, yeah, may have been, for sure we didn't have the fire rod. You can sequence break Moth without fire rod. It's not too hard to do bomb jumps to get over there with a lamp. But you do hard require a sword.
Yeah, neither runner had a sword when they first found it.
Yeah, that's my recollection as well.
Nice, shiny, big 20.
Yeah. Fetch quest big key doesn't pay off.
And Illus looks like might check the back of Skull Woods to see what entrance is there. Again, we're still missing Thieves Town, so
oh yeah, that could be there.
You know, quite a few items in there to sort through.
Did he not go back into swamp?
He did not.
Yeah, he did not go back into left side. I mean, I don't blame him. It's slow. It's annoying. It's a terrible check.
Well, there's an item, but not the one we want. And here comes the pet check. Delicious blue goop.
Yeah, so last bottle. The good bottle, but we're not killing pet. We're not doing pet for that.
So if it was any of the items we needed, that would at least give us idea where Thieves Town would be. But
yep.
Now Thieves Town can still be anywhere. Oh yeah, we have not seen Sick Kid, I don't think.
No, I don't think we have.
Because bottles were very late in the seed.
Mm-hmm. I don't even think it... Yeah, Azure doesn't even have one. For those of you wondering, Azure does not use quick swap, so that's why you see his menu all the time. There's that bottle. Now, does he do the climb? He does. Now, if he were to leave after the third check and not bother with the rest, that would save him some time, but we'll see if he goes for the hover.
Oh, and there's that flute. So
does that get us anything at this point? That I mean, it gets us fast travel. So it's... Oh, it does get us Pyramid Fairy. Yeah, that's right. Not used. It's just so weird to think of flute as the thing that gets you Pyramid Fairy, but in this case, it can in Crosskeys, depending on where that bomb shop is. In fact, most of the places it can be, you're going to need that flute to transfer that bomb.
And here comes Spiral Cave. Finally, someone's checking it. I get that it's not a popular check.
It's one way is the big issue. Like, you don't want to do it until you're terminating your route. And it's just a bottle.
So that bottle's been there for a while.
Yeah, there's only 3 hearts, and Fighter Sword is going to go ahead and grab this nice refill here.
So that's 3 skip checks from Illus, I think. We've got left side swamp and pod big chests.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see if Azure goes and grabs the pod big chest when he goes and does it. Hey, there's Sick Kid. And he gives us his heart. How sweet.
Well, his health is already on the decline, so he just says, you know what? You take it.
Well, if you
Meanwhile-
wanted to go into that house there, Illus, you're not going in there now.
Yep.
He just wants to activate the flute.
You know, sometimes that can happen in Crosskeys where I've seen it where, and it's happened to me, where you want to go into an entrance and you accidentally
Yep.
trigger the snitch, and
Yep.
then you have to reset the screen.
Yep. I've done that too. I can turn in that green pendant for a gold sword.
I mean, not the worst reward in the world.
Yeah, I mean, we'll take it.
I mean, flute was kind of the big news. At least it got us one more check.
It's one more. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's true. It's one more entrance, which could be nothing. Could be a shop or a fortune teller or one of those many useless entrances.
So we know, though, that even if Azder does not get the hover here, he is in the clear.
Yep.
And Azder using the lamp, even though he has the fire rod.
Yeah. And unfortunately, because he did it late, he ran out of time to actually open the door.
But I mean, I can imagine his brain being a little scrambled.
Yeah, you
and-
need to fire out, do that last one. This it's gonna make it. This it doesn't make it. At this point, I would just switch. I think he's trying to conserve magic. He could just, might be better just switch to the fire rod. Okay, this one should be fine.
I've also had it in my personal experience where you're so used to operating without a certain item, and then you get it and you forget you have it.
Yeah, that could be too. This looks like he has forgotten that fire rod. He will menu at some point and see it, because, no, without quick swap, that will happen. And he's gonna get these pieces of heart. Does want that small key because he hasn't done the left side yet. He gets the refill from the piece of heart. Without powder, that's actually really nice if he decides to go for the Moldorm. And the hover.
So at this point, it looks like Illus is on cleanup. So I think Azder is officially running on borrowed time now.
Pretty much. He is going to go for the hover. We'll see. I mean, he probably goes for this until he dies or doesn't get it, which is unfortunate because we know there's nothing behind here.
So little pro tip for those of you that are not good at hovering, but can do it. If you're going to do this hover, it's better to do it from the bottom of the left bat wing, because if you do it from the right, you'll land on the spikes all the time, which eventually bleeds your health.
Yep.
But the left side, you will land safely with no spikes underneath.
And he'd like to have Moldorm killed here, because then he can get the chest. The problem is, that's 6 shots every time, so I don't think he's going to truly go for that. Now, the real interesting part is, I don't know if we saw that chest on Illus' side, if that's the ice rod. Okay, Illus going to go ahead and clean up the pod big chest.
Yeah, Illus did get that chest, so it's nothing.
Okay, that's good to know.
And Illus said, you know what, I'm just not going to bother, and I'm going to walk all the way through. Meanwhile, Moldorm being rude and pushing Azder off the edge.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping he would skip this because that would be a nice time save, but I don't blame him for wanting to go for it. And just a blue boomerang in the pod big chest, so pod not the answer.
Not the blue thing we want to see.
Not at all.
We are also still missing powder, so magic bat could be a thing later on if we find powder.
Yeah, I mean it could be powdered ice rod. That is a thing.
But realistically, I think we just need to find. I think Illus needs to do Pyramid Fairy at this point.
Yeah, I feel like there's not much, just isn't much left. Oh, he's gonna do left side swamp.
Yeah,
that's reasonable.
Yeah, Ice Rod's gonna be here because
he didn't do it first.
Illus didn't do it on the first try, and let's be honest, Ice Rod loves to be on left side swamp.
You know, I find that left side swamp when it's a pendant dungeon is even more lucrative than left side swamp when it's not. Like, I feel like that just maybe because it's just not locked by as many things. I don't know. It just feels like it happens.
And Azder is committed to the hover. You know, I mean, I can't blame him. I mean, but we know that this is not the answer.
Almost got it.
And, you know, I see, discussion on Illus not knowing which one is the crystal. And that may be true, but at the same time, he's basically, you could go check Pyramid Fairy, but then if it doesn't turn out to be Pyramid Fairy, then,
I mean, if the only thing that could get him, and this would, there's the hover, you got it. So I don't think this is enough of a time loss. If he finds Thieves Town behind, say, Ether, let's say Pyramid Fairy has Ether, and the ice rod's not there, not that there's many other places it could be, hey, there's powder, then he loses time for doing Thieves Town, and that's really it. But that's not enough. There's just not that many places left. So I guess you just go Magic Bat and see if the ice rod's there. I think you do that before you do Pyramid Fairy, but
yeah. So if if Magic Bat is where Ice Rod is, my inbox is closed. You can don't blame me. But as you're getting down Aga2 and gonna get access to that Kakariko well. Meanwhile,
a whole lot of nothing.
Illus getting.
Well, he gets the Turtle Rock small key, so he doesn't have to kill the Pokey anymore.
But
there's that.
That's.
Of course, it might incentivize him to go get the lava chest, which we know has nothing, because we saw that on Azder's side already.
Yep, so here's Pyramid Fairy. So I'm pretty sure this has to lead to something.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Illus has anything left. Already went back to do Pod Big Chest and Left Side Swamp. So yeah, there's really nothing left, I think, that Illus has.
Those will either be Ice Rod or Ether for 2 more entrances. I think that's all that we have. I guess it's a little faster to go to that spot. Typically in modes where you want to get to Ganon at the end, like in all dungeons, for instance, if your last thing that you do isn't kill Agatu, that's a good place to get to Ganon from. As you're gonna go finish Misery Mire while we're at it.
I feel like we might have 1 or 2 single item cave checks left. Because I feel like I haven't seen hammer pegs.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But there's definitely, I think there are still some items to be had in these locations.
So we could see a one-off ice rod here or something. But,
or we could find Thieves Town.
No surprises there.
No, not really. There's probably an Ether in here and probably an Ice Rod as well.
What is...
Wait. Why would you... Huh?
This is, some routing.
Okay. Not check... You're just gonna rush the boss and not check... I've never seen anybody...
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He thinks this could be... Oh,
yeah, he doesn't know the crystal. That's right.
Okay,
right.
Now
okay,
it makes sense. So if this is the crystal, this totally makes sense. You just rush it, you kill blind, and then you spawn at the beginning, and if it's not the crystal, you can check the items in the front. Or maybe you find the ice rod on the way.
Yeah, it makes more sense, but I still feel like with not knowing, unless, yeah, he doesn't have it marked as a crystal, so without knowing, I would still check at least the front 4.
Yeah.
Or at least something along the way. Something convenient.
Well, you have to check these. Here's another Turtle Rock small key. All the Turtle Rock small keys.
Yeah, the classic Thieves Town Ice Rod guessing game.
No. Okay, he does have the small key. So you can check... you gotta check the big chest, right? Like, you don't want to have to come all the way back here if this isn't your crystal. There's Ether.
Boy.
I said Ether would be in here.
Then again, I mean, it really pretty much had to be. Like,
yeah, meanwhile, as you're on Spider Sword video...
I think we're gonna be in the 190s for collection rate on this seed.
Yeah, Azure having run out of his silver arrows and wants to save the last one for the Vidi kill, or at least one of the last ones for the Vidi kill, and is down to his fighter sword.
Yeah, this has just been a rough seed for Azure the whole way.
Yep. So that hook shot led to absolutely nothing.
Yep. It was just for fun.
Bomb pad, absolutely nothing. That was fun. What a disgusting seed. I mean, it's totally the play to go do swamp in that situation when it just gives you the hook shot and the small key. It is complete bait. And there's that pendant.
I'm gonna laugh if it was in the front, first chest in the front.
I mean, it's either the front or behind the ether. We've got we just have nothing else left, so.
Oh, nice French vanilla map. Where's that vanilla? I don't even know where the map is in this dungeon, to be honest.
I don't know. Okay, $50. Heart container. There
it
is.
is.
So thankfully, we do not have to follow the ether medallion to those other 2 entrances. Just get that ice rod and go. And that is go mode for Illus, so this will be a very quick finish at this point. Crosskeys has a tendency to have very, very short go modes. Because, you know, you've already done Ganon's Tower. It's not usually even required. So you just do your go modes, your last few dungeons, and then drop down to wherever Ganon is.
Yeah, unfortunately, we'll have to take the somewhat longer route down to the laser bridge since we can't
Well, we're
get
not
in
going to
that
go
way.
to. Yeah, we can't get in through Laser Bridge, so we're just never going to go see it again. Which is fine, because who wants to actually see Laser Bridge if we don't have to?
I have a small question, because I had a bet running for Ice Rod, and I don't know what is meant with Thief's Tome Ambush. Which chest is it?
The ambush
the second
check.
one?
Yeah, it's the second one on the left.
So no one made the right choice?
Okay, I guess
Yeah,
not.
because it was in the Thieves' Town big key chest.
Yeah, it's the one where when you open it, and then there's like a bunch of slimes that pop up and ambush you, I guess is the reason they call it that. Asher's gonna finish pod.
And as you're dropping the ferry off for the eventual death warp here.
Yeah, with 2 hearts, it makes sense to death warp rather than use the mirror. Very quick first round. Yeah, it was a 0 cycle even from Illus there. Very nicely done. Hopefully gets a nice double spin here and then takes down Trinex. Good enough. Took 1 hit, but that's okay. We're on red mail with a bazillion hearts, so. Like I said, Crosskeys, item starved early, you have everything late. That's just, for him, it's been a very typical, in that sense of just, you know, takes a long time to get items to be healthy and kill things, and then by the end, you just have everything.
All right, now we get to see a pig, and we get to wipe our hands clean of this seed.
Well, some of us do. We'll see if Azure decides to keep going. Okay, where to next? Well, Bill's doing a very nice job with Ganon. Already into phase 3.
You know, when you think about it, the seed was, kind of being nice with that hook shot, saying, you're not going to need this,
Yeah,
so
you
I'll
don't
put this
need it.
high up on a shelf.
Just ignore. Just never get the hook shot. Just ignore that it even exists, and absolutely nothing behind it. One more shot needed.
Ganon not giving good warp patterns for multiple silver hits. And get those GGs in chat for Illus. Just has to cross that bridge, and we will get the official time.
And finishes up with an official race time of 2:27.36. GGs to Illus. We'll go into the 1-0 bracket. Azure looks like he's going to keep going. We'll drop down to the 0-1 with a lot of other scary names.
Yeah, and this is Swiss, so we've still got plenty of races to go. This is just the first of many, so azder definitely can come back and place well in this tournament and get into the brackets. So just dropping one doesn't mean the end of anything.
Nope, not at all. And
meanwhile, we were joined by Illus.
yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I heard the sound. It says somebody joined us, and it's got to be Illus. GG's, Illus.
Hey, GG's.
So that was hookshot bait.
Yeah, that's. I was prepared to not find the hookshot at all, and maybe find the Thieves' Town entrance, but it wasn't all that easy.
It's unfortunate that you didn't know your crystal versus pendant for Turtle Rock, but I did like the play.
Yeah.
Once we realized why you were rushing the back of Thieves' Town. I really liked that play, but a little unfortunate that the ice rod was in the front, and that was the thing you needed. So.
Yeah, I thought about how I didn't really know, so I should rush the back and then check the front if necessary. And of course, I got punished with the map and the ice rod both in there, so I could have like warped out and checked if it's a pendant or not. But yeah, I did plan on doing that, and I thought it was a good play.
I mean, it could have been a little worse. You did find the ether medallion, and there were 2 entrances behind that ether.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure if there were some more item caves behind that. I'm like tracking with my head basically, not with some spreadsheet or whatever. So I didn't know if there were item locations left or not. But I'm pretty sure I've checked everything I can basically.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing hammer pegs. I think that was the one I was thinking that we may have had left, but yeah.
True. And
there really wasn't much.
Yeah, with that flute and that bomb shop. Somewhere in the middle of the seat, I was like, I kind of want to do the bomb shop because I had the 5-6 crystals really, really early. And then I was like, yeah, I don't have the flute. When I have the flute, I might check it out. And when I had the flute, I was already like so much later into the seat that I forgot. And then I proceeded to check everything else, and then I remembered at the end, after checking the bat, like, oh, there's that. I should have done that like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. But this seed, it started out nice, and then it really slowed down. Those boots were really early and accessible, and then you had the bow really early on, so it was just like, one thing after another. You're just like, hey, maybe this will be a nice seed, but then it kind of got bogged down.
Yeah, I personally thought the cane in pod to get your pod big key in GT to go back to pod to finish it, with pod keys scattered, of course, all over the place. And then the climb that had you had to do the climb. You didn't have to finish it. You just had to get to the Meyer big key, which is the last non-hookshot locked dungeon.
Yeah, but you can't really leave behind that well in the pyramid. Like, it could have been some really messed up logic with, really I don't know, hookshot in my big chest with my big key upstairs, and I didn't want to risk that, so I finished that with my hover skills, which were kind of okay, but inadequate for hookshot cave at least. Yeah,
the azder several times tried to hover that hookshot cave and never made it, and of course that hookshot cave also had nothing. There was a whole lot of like I said, the hookshot was just a big bait item at this point.
Yeah, I mean, once I found it, I couldn't leave it, but it's true.
Yeah, azder did have a bit of a mishap this seed, though. We're just under the assumption, since we haven't been able to ask him directly about it, but he probably forgot the connector to through hookshot cave was a thing, and that led to your mid seed. Like, you had to go through that to get all the stuff.
I went through that like 5 times.
We went through that a lot, both of you. But yeah, I think the real issue was that at first it was I don't want to go here until I have a hook shot. And then when he abandoned it, he just never got back. And then eventually he turned into forgetting it.
Yeah, I can speak from experience when I say that happens. Like in this seed, when I forgot that I wanted to have the flute for that bomb shop entrance, right? It's it just happens. Like it's long, it's complex. You think about a lot, and then you tend to forget.
Yep. But did you have any part of this, any item placement that really kind of made you chuckle during this seed?
I mean, the ice rod in a sense, because it was basically my last check. I think it was less of a chuckle, but that hammer in Eastern Palace, I was like, man, I'm glad that I didn't find Eastern Palace before now, and that I had the big key and everything to clear it for that hammer. And as Tracy said, like that part sequence, I was like, great, that's a classic part. I already know that the part big key is gonna be in GT. Like it was such a classic part in that regard.
Yeah, and so we were talking about this early on when we realized that Kakariko was on the GT drop down. So how early were you thinking about doing the climb? You know, it like just having it in your mind, saying that's 9 items up there. You know, when I get the chance to, you know, what order am I going to do this in?
I thought about the climb at 30 minutes. Like it didn't present itself, like the opportunity didn't present itself. Mostly because I found a lot of stuff to do. My early to mid game went really well, I think. And I routed a lot of things nicely, and then I had dungeons to do, and by the time I got to GT it was like 120, 130 or whatever. And yeah. I thought about it. If the seed had been a bit drier, then I might have done it really, really early. But it was a nice seed in the early to mid game, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely the hammer and hookshot kind of just being pushed off, even though the hookshot didn't really lead to anything. You know, that hammer being pushed off into like a dark corner really kind of slowed things down. You know, because doing normal routing, I don't think anybody really gets to that hammer very early.
No, because
Yeah,
purple chest.
purple chest. Yeah,
Required mitts, like required mitts and cross. Like, it's never a good thing to have required mitts and Crosskeys.
required mitts in the second chest of Agatha with
Yeah.
like poor luck, you can just abandon that forever. But
Yep.
yeah, I got a bit lucky. I did get a chance to route it in at some point relatively early, and yeah, I thought about doing those entrance checks before Ice Palace or Misery Mire, but then I thought it was silly to not do it, especially with how suspicious Ice seemed to me. In the end, it was just a bait, though.
Yep.
Yeah, Ice was very suspicious, getting all those keys very early, and then once you had the ability to do Ice, I was, you know, once you got the hammer, I was fully expecting something to be there, and then turns out, yeah, nothing.
Yeah, man, just nothing. That happens a lot in Crosskeys.
Yeah, Ice Palace, when it shows up super early and you can get to it super early, seems to like to have things, but this wasn't that early, so at least that's been my experience.
Yeah, but other than that, though, I think I saw a 203 collection rate.
And I usually
Yeah.
don't pick up garbage, so it might be a bit more even technically.
Yeah, so
Well, I'm sure you saw almost everything.
Yeah,
Like that ice ride being the last check in
in Thieves Town.
Thieves
Yeah.
Town. I mean, I guess it was lucky though for you that you did find some more TR keys, because it looked like you were going to have to go kill the Pokey, which you hadn't done already.
Yeah, I would have killed the Pokey. I remember that I skipped the Pokey beforehand. So it would have cost a little bit of time, but since it was a crystal, obviously you need all 4 keys in logic, and it was very unlikely to not find any TR keys.
But yeah, so is there anybody in the 1-0 bracket that you're kind of hoping you get paired against, or hoping you don't?
I hope to avoid, maybe, yeah. There's a lot of good names in this tournament.
Man, it's Crosskeys. I think a lot of like different things can happen, especially if you order, like if you find things in a different order, in a very very slightly different order, a seed can absolutely ruin you or not. And so I do think I can win against kind of everyone, but I can also lose against most people.
Yeah, I think that's fair for top runners. Yeah.
I would rather not play Lin or Goomba because they're my teammates.
I think that's fair.
they kind of taught me to play Crosskeys back in the day for a bit.
Yeah. Well, Lin, the champion from last year, very good, true. And Goomba. Yeah, I mean those are 2 very good names, not just in Crosskeys, but in just Link to the Past in general.
Yeah, we've practiced a lot together, played a lot together. We know each other well, and it would be a shame if we met at least kind of early. If it's like 7-0 bracket or something, then sure, gimme. But first get there. First get there, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And unfortunately, I think we might have to cut this very soon, because the channel is needed for another match coming up. It's a Wind Waker randomizer match.
A little sad we won't get to see Azder. He does have quite a ways to go, so.
Yeah, are there any questions left for Illus or from chat?
All I have is, unless there's something else Illus wants to, mention on the seed, good luck going forward in the 1-0 bracket. And, yep.
I'll echo that. Good luck to Illus. Also, I want to shout out again our trackers, SerioX and Professor Pixie, doing the hard work behind the scenes, pushing those buttons, and no matter what tracking randomizer mode, I like to call them the MVPs. But Illus, why don't you go ahead and see what are your last thoughts on this scene?
Yeah, don't forget about something, even if it was like 90 minutes ago. And it was good practice to full clear everything. I got lucky that azder had some issues, I guess, because I didn't feel good towards the end. But in the end, I think I did most things efficiently, and I'm not unhappy with how I played it. And thank you guys for your congratulations and well wishes. I'll do my best.
All right, well, good luck again.
And also thank you to both our commentators, HXC Jedders and Tracy M.
And thank you to you, Siberian, because I know this was a last-minute deal to even get this on the air. So really glad you were able to make this happen.
You're welcome. And to get this off quick, please check our schedule for more content here on ZeldaSpeedRuns. Next up here on this channel in about 10 to 15 minutes we'll start the Wind Waker randomizer race. And thank you very much for watching. See you next time.